Hello, Ezemy one, and welcome back to Rat Run. I'm your usual everyday time puzzling rat girl, Ezemy Chica, and today I'll be solving Rat Run 11 Limited Edition. In this in this limited edition episode of Ezemy Solve, I will be doing Rat Run 11, a limited edition. I'm a comedian. Experiment 11, Indigo. 23rd of October, 1974. Whilst Finks seems to enjoy seem whilst Finks whilst Finks seemed to enjoy the 2-month break, even though it was only 2 days for me, I have a feeling she has been missing the challenge that the experiments provide and will be glad to begin phase 2. Meanwhile, Elliot has been carrying out essential maintenance work on the tele rules, normal 9x9 Sudoku rules, in one of the aim of the experiments, path from rat to cupcake, may move diagonally, which there's a lot of empty space in this maze. Teleports. Entering a teleport will cause things to be instantly transported to the matching colored teleport. Matching teleports always have identical digits, but teleports that don't match always have different digits. We've seen those before. Red currents. A red current always sits between an even digit and an odd digit, so they're a sort of mini parity constraint. Test constraint. In this experiment, any cell on the path equals the digit at the top of its column plus the digit in the left-hand end of its row. So there isn't a whole lot of new stuff to go over in this puzzle because most of it's just going to center around the whole first row, first column thing. And that's not going to be useful until I actually have some digits in the puzzle. Although we can deduce one thing, it cannot enter the first row or first column ever because, well, except for, no, not this cell either, because the value in the cell equals the value of this cell plus this cell. So it would necessarily break. So like for this cell, it's this cell plus this cell up here. But for the ones on the edge, you can't add itself to another value and get, the same thing unless it's a 0, but there's no zeros in this puzzle. So the path can never enter the first row or column. That much we can put together. And just as a bit of reference, I will put the oil and water thing just because I can. You've got 2, 4, 6, and 8 over here, and then we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 over here. So even and odd digits, which have to be separated by a red dot, a red current. And with that, let's just dive right into the solve. We already know all the rules. So, first thing, we can deduce that, as we just said, the path can never enter the first row or column. So it cannot enter. Let's use red. It cannot enter teleports D or E, which means the path has to come up through here. I think it has to come all the way along here, like this, like so, because it can never ever go into the first row or column. But it could go either this way or that, either of these two paths. So these two digits need to be very small. They need to be, I think, specifically 1 and 2. Because the largest digit needs to be, the largest digit that can be visited is a 9. There have to be at least 7 columns visited, right? So they need to be the digits 1 through 7. at least the digits 1 through 7. So one of them has to be at least 7, and the smallest digit that it can be summed to is 2. So these, and it goes in both directions. We don't know which one is the 7. One of these is going to be 1 through 7. These all need to be greater than 1 or 2. Is it possible for there to be a 2 on the other side of this? Well, either way, we can determine that this is 3. This is an odd... No, this is an even number, not a 2. These 7 digits need to be... Well, if this one's a 2, then these 7 digits are 3 through 9. But if it's a 1, they can be 2 through 9, which leaves 1 digit of wiggle room. So how do we disambiguate which direction the line has to go in? Also, where does the 9 go? The 9 has to go in one of these 4 positions. It can't go here because if it goes here, then it's impossible to step on the cupcake. So it has to go here or here. It probably goes up here in the corner because that would eliminate all of these cells which are already eliminated. Well, actually, yeah, if it goes here, then there's nowhere for it to go in this column anyways. So, yeah, that's the 9 for that box, row, and column. And for the sums. Right, we could just tell by the column. There's no other places for the 9 to go in this column, so it has to go here. I don't think this can be 4, because if this is 4, this would have to be the sum of these two, which would either make it 1... Well, it'd have to be 2 or 3. It would have to be... No, it doesn't work. It can't be 4. So, in order to make 6 or 8, this would have to be 4, 5, 6, or 7. Doesn't really narrow anything down. So there is also going to be an 8 up here somewhere. And the 8 needs to be in a column where only one cell is visited. Or 0, I guess. Because if we have an 8 and a 1, that adds up to 9. Which would be fine. But I guess we can only determine that the 8 cannot go here. Because there's 2 cells that have to be visited in this column. Oh! These two digits need to have different parity. And this needs to be the sum of these 2 digits. And if they are the opposite parity, say this is 1 and 2, then this would also be a 1. That means this has to be an odd digit. I think this always has to be an odd digit, no matter what. Because if this is an even digit, you can only make an even digit with 2 even digits or 2 odd digits. If this is an even digit, this is an odd one, then this also has to be odd. If this is odd and this one's even, you can't make an odd digit with 2 even digits. So this one has to be an odd digit. This has to be a 1. So that's the 2. So this has to be also an even digit. So it's either 2 plus 4 or 2 plus 6. That does mean that we can never sum to 1 anywhere on this line, so the 1 has to go there, and it cannot be entered by the path. Also, there can't be an 8 anywhere in any of these columns, because 2 plus 8 would equal 10. Let's see, these 4 are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this has to contain a 6, so this cannot be 6. So this is either 4, 5, because 1 plus 4 is 5, or 7, 8. So there's 5, 8 here, and 4, 8. Wait, no. This is 4 and 7. This one's 5 and 8. because this is one, this cell is one greater than this one. And this is going to be the leftover digit. So this could be 4, 6, 7, 8, 5, or it could be 6, 8, 4, 5. I think either way, this can't be 8. Yeah, this can't be 8 or 4. Because if this contains a 4, this one has to have an 8. If this has an 8, this one contains the 4. So the 5 and the 7 are the two digits remaining for this teleporter. Right, and that means it can't enter this cell either. So it has to come straight down because 4 or 7 plus 8 is more than 9. Um, and it also can't enter teleporter A because these two cells can't add up to the total in here. So it has to come in through here and has to visit teleporter B. And it has to, in order to escape from this area here, it has to come down through this cell at least. And the only way to make a viable, a, a legal sum in this column is with 8 and 1, which means it needs to visit exactly one cell in this column. So that's 8, 1. Put a 1 here as well for a sum of 9. So the rest of this column cannot be visited. And with any luck, we can just go straight to the cupcake from here. I think that's all correct. This digit, the digit on the B teleporter, that had these two pairs of digits need to have the same sum. So if, for example, we put a 7, if we put a 7 here, we would have to put a 2 up here. Because that's the only way. We can't put a 1, and the smallest digit we can put is a 2, which adds up to 9, which is the maximum we can have. That would put a 9 also here, but there's already a 9 on this box, inside of this box. So B cannot be 9, which means this cannot be 7. So this needs to be 4, 5, 6, 8, and 7 here. And this needs to be greater than 4, so it needs to be 6, whoops, 6 or 8. Yeah. Okay. Because it can't be 7 or 9 or 5. So this digit needs to be 4 plus 2 or 4 plus 4. That means there's a 1 here. Oh, there's a 1 in this column already. So that's a 1. There's a 1 here. Could it touch all 3 of these cells? I'm not so sure. It can't visit this cell because we don't have a 7 in this column. Oh, right, this is a 2, because 1 plus 1 equals 2. I could have placed that earlier. Yeah, so all of these digits are 1 greater than the column to the left. And because we have 1 and 9 out already, we can do that. And also the leftovers would be a valid pair as well. Huh. Could this be 6, 9, 3? Perhaps? I guess it's possible. These digits all need to be 2 greater than what's above them. Oh, right. So 2 plus 2, this would either be 4 or 6. 2 plus 2 or 2 plus 4. So this has to contain a 4. This has to contain a 6. Well, we know that the 7 can't be in either of these two cells. Because the 7... Well, 7 is greater than 4 anyways. Or 7 plus 4 won't work anyways. So one of these two has to be a 7, which puts a 9 here, which puts a 9 here, actually. A 9 has to go on the line, which means there has to be a 5 here, which puts a 7 here. Ah. And so 7, 5, and 9 have to be here. What are these 4 digits? They are 2, 3, 6, and 8. Yeah, okay. So this one has to be... This one cannot be 2 or 3 because it has to be greater than 4. And it can't be 8 because of the box, so this is 6. Putting an 8 here. A 4 here puts a 6 there. And a 6 here puts a 2 here, which puts a 4 there. And a 3 and a 2. These 4 digits are 7, 9. And, well, I can do it by row. Because this is 7 and, what, 3? Which puts a 5 and 9 on these two, in some order. Right, and this is the other 8. These digits are 1, 3, 5, 9. This one has to be 3 or 5. Interesting. And it needs to be... Wait a second. I can just sum this up. These are 3. And 3 plus 2 equals 5. And we can't have a sum of 1, so this needs to be a 9. Putting a 7 here, which puts an 8 there. Which puts a 1 here because of this one. And that means we can't pass through this cell, sadly, but maybe we can still go around, maybe? These 3 digits are interesting parity. I don't think we can actually really determine anything with them, though. We know that these 2 digits are the same parity. And if the line doesn't visit them, then it doesn't really make any difference. What are these digits? They are 5, 6, 8. Oh, there are only 3 of them. Okay. So that puts an 8 and 9 here. 5, 6 puts 6 and 7. 6, 7. Oh. So this is 6 and 5. This is 7 and 6, which means this is 4. These 3 digits are 3, 4, 5. This is 2 and 9. Okay, so this cell cannot be visited because this adds up to 11. So the path has to go all the way around here, making this a 9 and a 2. This has to be 8. And this has to be 6 because this would be 3 plus 5. This is 7, 9, and 5. These 3 digits are 2, 5, and... No, not 5. 7 and 8. We have 8s here and here. I guess I can probably place the 8 in this in the center box as well. Yes, there's an 8 here. So that's all the 8s placed. I can put a 9 here and here. These 3 digits are 3, 4, 7. 7 goes here, is 2, 7. Let's see. In this box, we're missing 3, 4, 6. Yes. And in this box, we're missing 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, because we can't pass through this cell either, our only path that we can take is going through here from the teleporter, because we can't visit this cell either. We have to go through the green teleport, which is already valid. 6 and 3, 5 and 4. Very convenient. What cells can we visit? We can't visit this one, or here, or here, or here. 6 plus 7, 6 plus 4, 6 plus 5. 1 plus 3, 1 plus 7, 1 plus 4, 1 plus 5. 7 plus 3, 7 plus 7, 7 plus 4, 7 plus 5. Okay, so that narrows things down quite a bit. We can only go through the row that has 1 in it. So we have to come at least to here. And we probably can't move into this cell. But it does put a 5 here, a 6 here. Right, and that forces a 4 here. And this digit is what? 7? Yeah. So the path needs to go directly to the teleporter. Obviously it would. Get rid of all those X's so that the pencil markings are easier to see. And let's try and finish this puzzle off. These two digits are 4 and 5. These two are 1 and 2. Interesting. This is 2 or 4. Right, we can't use any of the addition rules anymore because we've already made the entire path. These two digits these are, let's see, 1, 2, 3? Yes. And they need to be an even and odd, so they have to contain a 2, which means this has to be not 2, so it's 3. 4, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4. These two digits, 5, 4, 3, 5. These two digits are, what, 3 and 6? Yes, so 3, then 2 and 1, 2 and 1. Yippee! That one was pretty smooth. Despite having over Despite having had over 2 months off, Finks got straight back into test mode, picking up right where she left off, as we'd hoped. Frustratingly, despite weeks of tinkering with the teleports and thinking the issues were fixed, Teleport B once again overheated after Finks had entered it. Why is it just that one that's being temperamental? Further investigation required. So it's B again, the orange one. It's an 8 this time. Last time it was a 9, but maybe someday we'll figure out what's going on with those teleporters, but until then, next time we'll do visiting order. Experiment number 12, visiting order. But until then, mo sono chika desho, oyasu ni.